varieties. Wow. Okay, this is the second part. We're going to be doing the next 2 chapters of Unexpected Helper, a Nightberry story by SpiritWolfNura. Also, if you hear any noises in the background, that's because my little brother has a friend over. Okay, so here we go. Waiting Game. Chapter 3 of Unexpected Helper by SpiritWolfNura. Blueberry felt like he was being watched, and honestly, he probably was. Now that Nightmare had felt Blueberry's hidden darkness, he was watching, waiting. Blueberry didn't know why. What would Nightmare do if he got Blueberry to give in to his negativity? What would Dream do if he was taken? Would he even care? Blueberry shook his head. None of that now. He slapped his cheekbones. None of what? Dream looked at Blueberry and he looked away, blushing. Nothing, Dream, just being silly. Blueberry was over for a movie night. Are you okay, Blue? Something feels off about your soul. Dream looked at him worriedly. I'm fine, really. Blueberry insisted, waving his hands in front of him. Dream narrowed his sockets. Take care of yourself, Blueberry. I do care for you. Blueberry smiled weakly. He was tempted to say, but not the same way I care for you. I am, Dream. Don't worry. Boys, get your tails in here for the movie! Dream perked at Ink's call. Coming! Blueberry sighed quietly, forcing his negative thoughts down again. I'm coming! He followed Dream over to Ink with a bowl of popcorn in his hands. When he got home, Stretcher thought it would be a great idea to tickle him, like a kid. Blueberry got upset, at least. He refused to show it, though, once again shoving it down. As soon as he got to his room, he grabbed his bandana tightly.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Nightmare's cyan eye glowed in the dark corner of Blueberry's room. Is this going to be a normal thing now? The Dark King walked over to Blueberry's bed and sat down, crossing a leg over the other.
Perhaps.
Blueberry grinned, rubbing his forehead. What do you want with me, Nightmare? Do you want to use me to get to your brother? He asked with a weird smile.
If I was going to do that, I would have taken you to my base already.
Blueberry took a cautious step towards Nightmare. Then what do you want with me? He asked again. Nightmare hesitated.
I wasn't sure before, but I've decided to help you.
Blueberry shook his head. I'm sorry, but I don't need help. Nightmare gave him a skeptical look.
Blue, you do. You're killing yourself slowly, pushing down your feelings. And last I checked, you aren't killing.
Blueberry shook his head again and ignored Nightmare while he prepared to sleep. Day by day and night by night, Blueberry continued to ignore Nightmare and shove down his negativity. His soul was quite literally breaking under the pressure, but for everyone else, he kept being happy. It was irritating for Nightmare in every single way. When they went through genocide, Nightmare had been at his castle, of course. But when he checked up on Blue...
Are you okay there?
Blueberry was lying face down on his bed. I'm fine, Blueberry replied through muffled sheets.
You don't certainly look or sound fine. It's 4 a.m. What are you even doing up?
Blueberry moved his head and picked himself up. Why? Nightmare quirked a brow.
Why what?
Blueberry looked at Nightmare with a tear-stained face that didn't bother to try and hide. Why does Kara do this to us? Blueberry broke down sobbing, leaving Nightmare both shocked and unsure of what to do. He wanted Blueberry to give in to his negativity more, yes, but he wasn't expecting this. Finally, Nightmare sighed and sat beside Blueberry, rubbing his back.
I don't know why the humans do what they want to do, but you're not alone. If you ever need to get away for a bit, my palace is open. We, the boys and I, are here for you.
Blueberry sniffed and tried to wipe away his tears. Thank you, Nightmare. I needed that. End of chapter 1, maybe. I'm losing my mind, but that's alright. Anyways, on to chapter 2. Yippee. Well, not chapter 2, but chapter 4. Yeah. Chapter 2 of this video, but chapter 4 and all, so. I'm being confusing, I know. Alright. Chapter 4. Thoughts and Feelings by SpiritWolfNura. Blueberry confided in himself to be positive. How many genocides had he pretended hadn't happened? And he'd had no one to go to, no one to lean on. Stretch was dealing with the genocides by leaning on Blueberry, the positive one, so it's not like he could do the same. Ink honestly didn't care. He was solaced, why would he? And Dream didn't care either. This realization sent Blueberry into another wave of sadness. He never really cared, not in the way Blueberry cared for him. Blueberry was just a tool for Dream to get stronger with, and he gladly clung to positivity for Dream's sake. It was Nightmare of all skeletons, the worst sands in the universe who had been there for him to lean on. Nightmare had comforted him until he fell asleep. Nightmare wasn't here for now. He was probably doing whatever it was during the day, which gave Blueberry time to think about his choices thus far, and their impacts on his life, Dream being one of the biggest. He had to let go. For real. Ink and Dream obviously had wanted him to fight with them. They didn't think he could handle it, just as Alphys didn't think he could handle being in the guard. 3 of his closest friends weren't as close as he originally believed. They'd been too afraid to hurt his feelings, and admittedly, his feelings were hurt. But it was better than believing that he was valued when he wasn't. Now he could better focus his time on something else, whatever that was going to be. Then there was his brother. When the genocide started, Stretch started to get overprotected and treat Blueberry like he was a child, or at least didn't treat him as equal. And he let it slide, because Stretch was already dealing with his depression and anxiety, among other things. But in doing that, it was making Blueberry's mental health decline. Now, here he was, laying in bed, crying, and thinking this all over. He liked being happy Blueberry, but he was really starting to realize that he could be blue, too. He sniffles and laughed quietly. Oh boy, if Stretch heard me think of that one. Blue wiped away his tears as he sat up in the bed. It was going to be difficult to open up to his negative side after so long, but he had help. He found a blue duffel bag in his closet. How long will they even be willing to have me? He pondered this question and decided to pack for a few days. That should be long enough to break from being happy, right? Before long, he had packed all of his necessities and was zipping up the duffel bag. Stretch was probably a muffet, so Blue shot him a text saying that he was going to a friend's for a few days. He was worried about leaving his brother alone, but he needed some serious alone time.
What is this?
Nightmare wasn't sure what he was supposed to expect when he went to check on Blueberry, but he didn't think a packing bag would be it. I thought some stuff over, and I'd love if you could take me in for a few days. It could be like a sleepover or something. Nightmare blinked.
Really now?
He nodded, more than obvious fake grin in place. I want to be more open to my negative side. Can you help me? Nightmare held out a hand to Blueberry, and Blueberry took it. Okay, well, that's chapter 3 and 4. Thank you for listening. The next parts will be out sooner or later, I promise. Alrighty. Have a wonderful day, my children.